Tonight on Traffic Blues, Gardaí catch up with a driver who's failed to stop.
So I'm giving you the opportunity now to tell me the truth. That's what I'm doing. Okay.
A truck has false number plates.
You're a bit nervous, are you? You're a bit nervous.
And in Donegal, a fatal road crash.
We're only after arriving here. What's the situation here?
There's a DOA and that's a young fellow.
The number of trucks and commercial vehicles on our roads has almost tripled in the last 10 years. The size and weight of these trucks mean they cause higher rates of death and injury if they're involved in a crash. So for safety reasons, Traffic Corps are keen they keep within the law. In Drogheda, Gardaí Andy Cosgrove and Martin Carroll have passed a construction site where topsoil has been cleared away. They have a suspicion that some trucks leaving the site may be illegally overloaded.
Checking of overweight lorries is part of the Traffic Corps remit. We'd gone past the site in a high-vis vehicle, just to let them know that we were actually watching them, hoping that they would keep the loads down.
Just by looking at the back wheels on it, there's a slight bulge on them, which is an indication that there's a lot of weight on it. Now, there is a maximum weight permissible for all vehicles on the road, particularly the HGVs, so we'll stop him. If he has a weight docket, it'll prove the weight there and then on the side of the road. If not, we'll take him to the point of weighbridge by the County Council.
A lot of the hauliers try to work with us. 9 times out of 10, they're delighted to see us on the road because they're working legitimately, they're trying to do things right, and they get very annoyed then when other drivers come in and they decide, I'm going to flout the law.
They pull the lorry over to see if the driver has a docket, which he should carry to certify the weight of the load.
Do you have a weight docket for your load by any chance, do you? I just want to examine the weight off the lorry, all right? We're at a point of weighbridge, it's not too far already away. If you just follow us, we'll come round anyway.
He hadn't got a weight docket which would prove the actual weight of the vehicle. So on that occasion, we're quite entitled then to direct the driver to go to the appointed weighbridge.
A couple of minutes later, and the truck has arrived at the council-appointed weighbridge. From the driver's perspective, the results are not good.
On this occasion, this vehicle was almost 5 tonne overweight. So that's an extra 5 tonne that all those components of the vehicle have to deal with. If a car was to pull out in front of that vehicle, the question then has to be asked, is the vehicle able to stop? Do we end up then with a fatality? It's not just a case of trying to be heavy-handed with the truck drivers. There's a safety issue.
I presume you're just working for this man, it's not your own lorry, is it? No, that's okay.
We had a further issue of the fact that he was living outside the jurisdiction and he was working for a haulier that was also based outside the jurisdiction. So on this occasion, the driver had to be brought to Drogheda station.
Because unfortunately, the vehicle is over 4 tonnes overweight. We have no alternative now but have to rush and take you to the station, all right? So, but it'd be kids, like, you'd be getting out anyway, obviously. Can you just park in as tight as you can to the footpath there, anyway? All right.
The boss man had to come down and bail him. I think he had to pay over €300 bail. It's basically because he's outside the jurisdiction, and that's a surety that he turns up in court. If he doesn't turn up in court, obviously the money is forfeited to the state, and a warrant then will be issued for his arrest.
This driver's afternoon is not going as planned. Instead of moving topsoil, he's arrested and brought to Drogheda Garda station and charged with an offence of having an overweight truck. It's also bad news for his boss. Not only is one of his trucks out of action, but he has to come down to the station and pay over €300 to bail out his driver.
Tomorrow, if you want, you can bring a solicitor down, okay? As I explained to this man, he's not convicted of anything yet. We still have to prove the case before the court.
If we're seen to be about, we generally find that the loads come down. If they think the guards aren't about, they'll run the risk, as this man did on this occasion, and obviously it didn't pay off for him.
The next day, the driver pleaded guilty in Drogheda District Court to overloading his truck. He was fined €250. Simulated and real crashes. These are shown as part of a Traffic Corps safety talk, in this case to transition year students. Sergeant Jim McAllister targets this key age group.
Road safety is an issue that affects everybody in society. It costs lives, it causes a huge amount of anguish and pain, and as I say, nobody gains out of bad behaviour on the roads. What we're trying to do with this programme is we're trying to put old heads on young shoulders, and hopefully the net outcome of that will be that these lives will be saved and that the numbers will continue to decline over the next 10 to 15 years. It's the most famous phrase that's used, it won't happen to me, and unfortunately some people have discovered it can happen to any one of us once we decide to use the roads. We've spent years dealing with the carnage, going to houses 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to break news like this. This is much more constructive for us. We can take the benefit of that experience, give the message to the kids, and hopefully we convey the message in such a way that they take from it the pain and the anguish that stems from these sort of collisions, and the fact that they don't have to happen.
Last year, just over 40% of people killed on our roads were under 25. 119 young people. Donegal has a bad history of young drivers getting killed on its roads. It's a far-flung county with poor public transport, so young people want to get driving as soon as they can. For Traffic Corps, it's a battle to get these young drivers to slow down. Gardaí Charlene Anderson and Noel McGoohan are based in Letterkenny Traffic Corps. A driver has been caught going over the speed limit. Charlene decided to stop him to have a word, but he's failed to stop. A common occurrence in this border county.
I detected the car speeding at 120 kilometres per hour in a 100 kilometre zone. So I got out of the car as I would do to stop the car, and the driver just failed to stop. So what we're doing is we're after turning around to go after him in the hope of catching him and stopping him and speaking to him to see why did he not stop for us. Failure to stop is very serious insofar as we're a border county, and from time to time we do get people who will just decide that they won't stop for us and attempt to get across the border before they're stopped. Yes, that's him.
They found the car down a dark side road, where the driver insists he has been for a while.
How are you doing?
Hi.
Why are you pulled in here?
I was just checking job at the back of the house here.
Okay. You drove past us on the road up there?
I didn't actually, no.
Well, I think he was grasping at straws, really. He came up with the idea that he was pricing a job at this house, but yet no, he didn't know where the house was, or he had no address for the house, or didn't know who owned the house.
And what are you doing down here?
Well, I do a job in this house here. I do.
Who owns this house here?
I don't actually know.
You don't know who owns it, but you're doing work on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Engine's warm, yeah.
So you've been parked here, checking out the house?
Yeah.
Engine's warm, wheels are hot?
You're chancing it?
Yeah, I think so.
Honest to God.
You're just checking somebody else's house out for the fun of it, is it?
Sure, look, I just get these phone calls to come down and look at jobs. So
And do you have a contact number for somebody, for the house?
I have a contact number myself.
No, for the house. Sure.
No.
No, that doesn't even add up. You're here to do a job. Don't know who you're meeting, don't know where you are, no contact number.
This driver's attitude to the officers is one they have come across before.
Well, it was very obvious to us that it was him, but we do get that when we stop people. They'll tell you a number of stories or give you a number of excuses.
Right, I'm going down to get the owner of the house here, okay, just to confirm you're doing the right job.
Right,
all right?
Okay, that's it. Right, that's it.
All right?
I think he took it as a bit of a joke in the beginning, all right, but then when he realised that it wasn't a joke, that we were very serious and his actions had serious consequences, I think at that stage he held his hands up and he admitted that he was wrong and he apologised. So I'm giving you the opportunity now to tell me the truth. That's what I'm doing. Okay, right, okay, what is it? It was you speeding. Sure, I know well it was you because it's the same car, your wheels are hot, your engine is hot, rack on the back. It's very easy to tell the truth, like. All right, saves a lot of hassle. Okay? But if he to continue on telling us that particular story and say that, blatantly denying that it was him, I would have arrested him and taken him to the Garda station. All right, listen, probably would have been in your own best interest anyway to stop up the road, save all this hassle and tell him. We are out there, we're out there trying to get them to slow down, and we are there for their benefit at the end of the day. We don't want them injuring themselves or potentially injuring somebody else.
As he finally owned up that he was driving fast and failed to stop, Charlene's keen that he takes the message about his speeding seriously.
Just slow down a wee bit. I know you're driving a good car. It is a good stretch of road, but at the same time, the speed limit's the speed limit. Slow down a wee bit. All right then.
This driver got 2 penalty points and an €80 fine. The same night this driver was stopped, a 16-year-old driver was killed in a separate incident on a road only a few kilometres away.